If you've heard about ANA's The Room Business Class and want the inside scoop, you've come to the right place. This is Travel Award Search, and we really enjoyed our experience in the room, and we'll show you just why. We'll take you along with us and review the lounge, the seating, the entertainment system, food and beverages, the sleep experience, the service, and just how we booked it on points. If you'd like to jump around like our cat Clem, the different sections of the video are listed in the description. So let's go ahead and get to it. First of all, the lounge experience. We flew out of Narita in Tokyo, and the lounge is upstairs near gate 52. The lounge is for business class passengers and those with general ANA lounge access. There is a separate lounge for first class passengers. The lounge is quite large with several different, quite comfortable seating areas and a lot of big windows showing you the tarmac. It was not very full when we first got there, which was quite a ways ahead of our flight, but it definitely filled up closer to boarding time. There was a main food buffet and a little bit smaller secondary buffet. There were many different Japanese and Asian foods, but the buffets were rather limited on Western food items. There's a very cute noodle bar. The noodles are custom ordered. You can order them with a QR code at the seats on your phone, or you can walk up and order. They have udon and ramen dishes, and those were quite good. There's also a nice selection of both alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages available. And I really got a kick out of the cleanup robot as well as the automated rice serving machine. Overall, the lounge was quite comfortable, but it was nothing over the top. But now it's on to the flight. This was on a Boeing 777-300, as I mentioned, from Tokyo Narita to San Francisco in October. We booked our flight through to Houston using United Miles, and we'll tell you more of the details on that booking a little later in the video. On to the seating and the layout. It's configured in 1-2-1 configuration, so everyone has direct aisle access, a big benefit, and it alternates between forward-facing and rear-facing seating. You really don't notice any difference with rear-facing seating once you're in the air. The room is the best designed seating space we've ever experienced, and we would rate it above Q Suites. The seats are very roomy with an impressive 38-inch wide bench, which makes it very comfortable. You've got lots of space to spread out when you're sleeping and even when you're eating or just watching a movie. The seat controls were very good and easy to use. It included a dial to go between the different standard settings. It took me a little bit of adjustment to make it comfortable for watching movies, but no problem at all with making it lie flat to go to sleep. There is a good amount of in-seat storage. There's a cabinet with space for an iPad and phone, and the bottom actually pulls up so you could have them plugged into the plug right below, but close the door. There's very large counter space, and the tray table is also extremely large and well designed. There's a small space under the screen where you can stick your phone, and there's quite a bit of space under the footwell. And of course, the luggage bins are quite ample. The bedding was on the seats as we arrived. It included 2 pillows, 1 a memory foam, a mattress pad, a very silky soft blanket, slippers, and an amenity kit. The amenity kit came in a very nice blue container. It had a pretty typical assortment of items, but it also included a lightweight carry bag, which can be quite useful. The entertainment system included a huge 43-inch 4K screen. So it had great clarity, premium headphones, both the touchscreen and a controller, and there were extensive movie choices, and it was easy to flip through them, and they were quite well organized into different categories. There were also some books and podcasts. I was rather surprised there were no games. They had a very cute safety video with several different characters featured. You can see a little bit of it here. Now on to another important aspect, food and drinks. The food on the flight was absolutely outstanding, as well as being plentiful. They offer both a Japanese menu and an international menu with various choices to make on each of them. My husband and I both chose the international menu, and everything was delicious. I had the sole, and my husband had the beef, and both of them were excellent, as well as the appetizer courses and the dessert. There's also an extensive selection of beverages, which included sake and hibiki Japanese whiskey. There were several things, including a cheese plate, rice bowl, ice cream, noodles, that were all available anytime after the dinner service. I had a cheese plate with a little bit of hibiki whiskey in order to taste it, but I did forget to take a picture of that. A hot breakfast was also served just before landing. Now let's talk about the all-important sleep experience. It had the standard lie-flat beds, which were very nice, and that wide bench seat really made them even more comfortable. The mattress pad was nice and cushioning, and the soft blanket also added to the mix. The privacy divider between the seats and the doors, for lack of a better word, to the aisle, really helped with the privacy of the space and also the quietness of the space for sleeping. Pajamas are available on request, and they were very nice and comfortable. Unlike Qatar and United, they actually collect them at the end of the flight, so I had to pull mine out of my backpack. The only thing I'd say that could make it a little bit better experience is if the divider between seats dropped all the way down to be able to create a double bed, the way it does in the Q suites. Now let's talk about service. Surprisingly, this is the one aspect of the flight that was somewhat lacking. We were greeted with champagne or orange juice shortly after boarding, and service was polite and efficient for the dinner service and for breakfast, but the flight attendants really didn't come around much after that. I had difficulty getting attention to get a second cup of coffee at breakfast, even after hitting the call button, and I finally went to the galley to ask for more. Now this hopefully was just a one-off, but I was rather surprised at that given the reputation of ANA. Now we were able to book this flight on the United website for 100,000 mileage plus miles and $50 per ticket. That comes up to a value of 2.7 cents per mile. So it was quite good. But it's a little tricky. These seats do not come available often. So what happened is, first one seat came available, which I booked in November, and then a second seat came available in February, but with a later connection to Houston. So my flight had a 2.5-hour layover. My husband's had a 4-hour layover. I had planned on doing a same-day change because I have status with United, but my flight was so full, my husband would have been in a middle seat that was not next to me. So instead, we kept with our flights. We checked the bags under my reservation. I collected them when I landed, went and got our car out of long-term parking, and came back and waited in the cell phone lot about 20 minutes to pick up my husband, who was able to just walk off the plane to the car. That setup was not ideal, but it was an option for us so that we could book a really good flight for a really good amount of points and book it all the way through to Houston. The room is available on all flights between Tokyo and New York and London, and many flights to and from San Francisco and Chicago. But you do need to check to see if it's available, and it is definitely highlighted when you pull up a flight that has the room. Clem is always happy when we get back from a trip. She likes to help us review the key points from our videos, so let's do that now. The lounge experience was comfortable, but nothing over the top. So we rate that 3.5 stars. The seat, the storage, the general layout was some of the best we've ever experienced. So we would definitely rate that 5 stars. The very wide bench seat made a huge difference, as well as the storage space. The entertainment system with the huge screen and good selection of movies, we rate 4.5 stars, a half star down for not having any games. The food was outstanding, and that's on an international menu. I would think the Japanese menu would be even better, although it's hard to imagine how that can be the case. So we rated that 5 stars. I told you about my disappointment in the service, so we rated that 3 stars, although hopefully that's just a one-off. And then the value we got from this, we rated 4.5 stars at 2.7 cents per United Mileage Plus mile. So overall, we're rating it 4.75 stars. We think this was just an outstanding experience, especially on the things that really matter, like the seating and layout and the food and beverages. And it didn't hurt to have a really big screen and good entertainment system as well. So we'd certainly recommend flying ANA's The Room if you get the opportunity, and particularly if you can score a good reward flight. We hope you enjoyed this video. This is Wandering Woman Ann Clem with Travel Award Search. We certainly appreciate your likes and your shares and would love to hear your comments. As always, travel wisely, travel well. Thank you.